This is an overview video on the highly coveted and sought after Fallout 4 Pipboy Edition, which famously, I guess maybe mildly famously, was sold out after like 6 hours on Amazon and went for outrageous prices on eBay, upwards of $700 within the first few months, and even recently went for something like $300 to $400 for if you search them now. So anyway, this is the case of the Pipboy. I'm a little bit sad because it's not very well made. It's all plastic and the latches don't work very well. In fact, this one on the right side just flat out won't stay down for me, and I'm going to show that here. And it may seem like I'm being a little bit violent on it, but that's actually how much I have to hit it to get the latch that actually does work on the left side to close. But anyway, when you're ready to open it, push in the two buttons, and then you can see inside you get this metal case and a Season Pass advertisement. This game does not actually come with a Season Pass. And then you get the totally useless Fallout 4 disc, and of course the poster for the skill tree or the perk tree. Now I say the disc is useless because it only includes about 5 gigs of actual data. The rest of it, the other 25 or so gigs, you have to download from Steam. So if you're hoping the disc would save you and your bandwidth, better luck next time. There's also a totally useless Fallout manual, which I'm just going to skip over, and a Pipboy manual, which kind of feels like it was made out of toilet paper and is in black and white. So that disappointed me, but at least that manual was thorough. And here's another look at the metal case. So when you're ready to get into the Pipboy, you can take it out of the box and put it on its stand, which is what I would recommend over actually wearing it. And the stand is included, of course. It's in the bottom of that foam padded box. And the Pipboy itself is pretty cool looking, but the only two things on it that are metal are the latches. And I wasn't, for $60 extra, I mean the base game is $60, so pay $120 for this, so you end up paying $60 for the rest of it. I wasn't expecting for, $120 for this thing to be made out of titanium, but I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be as plasticky. And these knobs and dials here, which are all plastic and functionally are totally useless, but are kind of cool just for show, they feel really cheap, they're kind of loose, they don't turn very well, and this dial here is the same thing. Sometimes it spins a lot, sometimes it doesn't. They just don't work very well. And that plastic black part right there is not a button. Do not push that in. My brother and my friend found that out the hard way. If you push it in, it will go into the Pipboy, so don't do that. Then you also get a sticker rad meter and an actually useful or technically useful radio tuner, which again doesn't do anything, it's just there for show. Then another knob on this end that you can turn, which again does nothing. So if you want to see the whole thing in its entirety, I'm going to turn it in a circle here. That white connector does not come out, and there's also not a VCR slot for your holotapes, which, is not something I expected, but I kind of hope this thing would have been a little bit better made because it feels pretty cheaply done. So when you want to look on the inside here, you just need to open up this latch, and the latch is pretty easy to open up and is probably the best made thing on this Pipboy actually. And then you get the foam and the strap on the inside here. So the foam is once again cheaply made. It smells really weird, and it gives you the impression that you're going to get lead poisoning if you wear it for too long, and it's not well adhered to the side of the Pipboy whatsoever, so it can come right off if you really wanted it to. And then when you want to put it on, you need to undo the strap. This is easier in your lap, and I don't think this was made for people with skinny forearms like mine. I think if you have a fatter or even a more muscular forearm, this will probably fit you better, but for me it just kind of slides all over the place. So for me wearing it, it's really impossible, and I wouldn't want to anyway because it just gets in it just gets in the way of my desk and my keyboard. So here's a foam adapter for your phone if you want to if your phone doesn't fit perfectly, you can use one of those. And there's also a power button here which lights up 2 lights on the Pipboy, which is pretty cool, but doesn't actually power up anything other than the lights themselves. So when you want to put your phone on or inside the Pipboy, you'll need to open up this latch first. Then you'll want to push down this latch and lift up on the screen. Then there's going to be 3 cardboard cutout template things, whatever you want to call them, and you're going to have to remove one of them, and one of them is going to tell you where you can go to download the app. Now remember, you don't need the Pipboy to use the app. Having the Pipboy and your phone is kind of a novelty, but you can just use the app on its own. So the Bethesda said before this came out it would support larger phones, but this is not the largest phone. This is the HTC One M8, and it just doesn't fit whatsoever. So if I planned on using this phone with the Pip-Boy, I wouldn't be able to. So that would have been kind of disappointing. So I dug out my old Galaxy S3, kind of sad that that's an old phone now, and started it up, loaded the app onto that, and this does fit pretty well. So I have to use this kind of unfortunately, but you know, that's just how it's going to go. So if your phone is too small, you can use those foam adapters that I showed earlier. If your phone is too big, you're kind of out of luck. But once again, you can use the app separately, and it may actually be preferable to get a phone stand and use the Pip-Boy app while you're playing Fallout 4, because it's kind of nice being able to have access to all of that immediately instead of having to open it up in game, wait for it to load, and then scroll through all the menus that you want that way. So when you're ready to set it up, if you're on the PC, I don't know the exact steps for the consoles, you'll want to load up the game and go to Settings, and I'll show this here once I get it loaded up. And this does look pretty crappy, but I was just kind of lazy and wanted to record it with a camcorder. So go to Settings, go to Gameplay, and then scroll all the way down, and make sure that Pip-Boy app enabled is on. Then you'll want to restart the game so it kicks in, and make sure your system and your phone are connected to the same network. That can either be through Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Just make sure it's the same network, and then you'll want to load up the app on your Pip-Boy itself, on your phone, for the Pip-Boy app on the phone itself. And for mine wasn't connected to the network right away, so I just had to refresh it, and then it found it. And then you'll need to load up a save in-game so you can actually see the Pip-Boy inside your phone. Now, the setup process for the app is really easy, and I didn't show that because it was just so easy, there really was no reason to, and it lets you adjust the screen size so you can get it right where you want it, but if you're not using the Pip-Boy, I'm assuming you won't have to do that. So then, once you get that started up, then you'll see everything that is inside the game on your phone. And this is really cool because you can do everything immediately on your phone, like I said, without having to open it up in-game. So this includes using stim packs, seeing your stats at all times, equipping weapons and armor, and kind of something I did like was how you have to double tap something to equip it. And I like that just because if you're scrolling through, you won't automatically equip the 10mm pistol that you don't ever want to use while you're in the middle of trying to kill Swan. But there's also a map, which again, you know, you get the whole same functionality as you do in inside the game, and the map was probably one of my favorite features while playing with this, just because I could glance at it every now and then to see how close I was to where I was going, and being able to switch through stuff immediately, like I said, in the middle of a firefight is kind of nice, and I'm going to show that here. You just go straight to the hazmat suit and straight back to the gear I was wearing before. No need to open it up and then scroll through and wait. Inside the game. And then of course I'm going to scroll into first person mode here, and I'm going to equip I think 3 weapons. So I have the Fat Man, a flare gun, and a pipe rifle, and again I don't have to open up the menu to do all this, so that's kind of a cool reason to use the app. And that's probably something I would have to recommend against, though. Using the Pip-Boy and the app together is not very functional, and you can't charge your phone while it's inside the Pip-Boy because there's no way to access it, so make sure your phone is fully charged. So that's pretty much it for the overview of this Pip-Boy. So is it worth it? I think for $120, yes. If you paid any more than that, I kind of feel sorry for you because it is pretty cheaply made, and I guess my expectations for the Pip-Boy were just way too high because I was kind of let down. Now, luckily Fallout 4 was not a letdown. I love that game, and for the past 3 days straight I've played it for 12 hours, so that's been fun. But overall, the Pip-Boy, a little bit disappointing. Game though, extremely awesome. Thank you for watching this video.